Good evening and welcome. I'm Chris Parnell.
Reporting from Moscow.
Tbilisi.
Times Square.
May your dreams be your only boundaries in life.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Ranimi Mam. Each week in this time slot, we take a look at different issues, personalities, and events that affect you and our community. The holiday season is a time when people gather together to catch up and reflect on the past year. Many of those gatherings revolve around religion. This week, we are taking a look at the different social aspects of religions and how they bring the community closer. Later, we'll talk with Imam Anwar Arafat and Imam Muhammad from the Rahman Mosque and Father John Simon from Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church. Joining us now are Rabbi Bess Wollner from Temple Israel and Heather Kufert from the Memphis Jewish Community Center. Thank you both for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Well, you're both in the middle of the Hanukkah season right now. Rabbi Wollner, how does the community celebrate this holiday?
Well, there are a lot of different community events that happen, but Hanukkah is this holiday where it has both a private and a public aspect to it. So the private aspect is that you are supposed to light it in your home every night, but the public aspect is that you actually put it in your window so everyone can see it. And that way people know that you're Jewish, that you are a person who wants to add light to the world. But there are also lots of different events happening at our synagogue, either during our Shabbat services or through our early learning center, our preschool at Temple Israel. So those are just some of the community moments for us.
Well, considering that Hanukkah is a family-oriented holiday, how does the JCC bring the Jewish community closer during the holidays?
Great. So we are offering Hanukkah blessings and Hanukkah songs that actually I do on guitar and with early childhood at 9:15 a.m. every day through the week, and then 5:30 p.m. every evening. And this Wednesday night, we're actually doing a Hanukkah parody to the Everything is Awesome Lego Movie song that is Hanukkah is Awesome. So we really bring the community together in that sense. It's open to everyone. Everyone can come. At 5:30 p.m. we have our J Club, which is our aftercare, and they always come to the music with it. And not all of them are Jewish, and everyone gets to be a part of it. And actually one of the young kids that was in kindergarten or first grade said, "I just learned about this in school today. I know it." And he was like so excited. I let him, we have the twisting electronic one, light, and he says, "I know, it was supposed to last one night, last 8 nights." So it really brings together the community. We had a holiday art market, and so there were multiple vendors there. So when we did the music, they were all there to be it, and people were shopping for the holidays. So there are events. We have something every single night, and we have Kids Night Out Hanukkah Party on Saturday night. That it's babysitting, but Hanukkah party style. So there are lots of different family community events going on.
Well, the JCC is a more well-known community center in Memphis. What do you offer to the community?
Wow, so there's a lot that is offered. It's anything from fitness to sports to Jewish programming to early childhood. There's really a lot to dance, seniors programming. There's really you name a really group and it's offered there. And I think what's really unique in the sense is, yeah, there are places that you can go that offer this, but there's really that community feel there, that you don't go there just for dance. You can go there and see people that you know and see every day. And in the sense for someone who is Jewish, if they were to go somewhere else to play sports, they may have it on Shabbat. Whereas here they can go knowing that it wouldn't be on a Saturday morning, and they can feel comfortable and be able to do it on a Sunday which other places may offer that, and they would not feel that they would want to, they be able to do it on Shabbat. So a lot of different programs. Please come.
And you don't have to be Jewish to join?
You do not have to be Jewish to join. It is really open for everyone. So we have a very diverse community.
Well, we know that you have a film festival coming up in February.
Mm-hmm. So yes, we have a film festival. We have been doing this for a few years, and it's been highly successful. We just had a Jewish Literary and Culture Arts Festival, so there are 2 festivals throughout. And will be Israeli films, different Jewish films. This year is actually the first year that they're going to have a special needs film and bring the special needs community together. So yes.
Well, there are also a lot of social groups at Temple Israel, like Connect TI and the Temple Primetimers. How do these different groups enhance the temple and its community?
That's a great question. I would say that the way that a lot of these auxiliary groups support the temple is that they feel connected to temple, and they actually try to figure out ways to be connected. So they might, if they're having a program, it might be a Connect TI program, but they still understand that there's a connection to Temple. And it also encourages them to come to different events at Temple, even if it's not just for their group. But there are things going around with those groups all over the city. And so they're really, even though our building is in East Memphis, we want to make sure that there are things happening all over Memphis that are open and available to Jews here.
Well, Memphis has a lot of different religions. Temple Israel and Senior Rabbi Micah Greenstein, they are big promoters of interfaith understanding. So how do you think this has impacted the city of Memphis?
So I only moved to Memphis in July, but even in the short amount of time I've been here, I've been able to see how strong the interfaith community is and how supportive. We had during our Festival of Booths, Sukkot, we had a special education luncheon for different clergy from around Memphis, which was really moving and meaningful as a way to partner and talk about different issues that are relevant to all of us. So I think that the more people of different faiths, of different backgrounds can partner, the stronger it's going to make Memphis, because we need diversity to prosper. So I would say that's one thing I've seen so far.
Recently, Temple Israel's senior rabbi, Micah Greenstein, posted an announcement against the anti-Syrian refugee movement that's sweeping across the nation. What influenced him or part of the temple to do this?
So that was Rabbi Micah Greenstein speaking from his heart for himself. And I would say the thing that really moved him to do this was thinking about, I mean, in the article, I believe he talks a lot about how you're supposed to love the stranger and welcome the stranger, and to live by our Judeo-Christian values. If we mean to welcome the stranger, it means welcome the stranger, and there's no exclusion depending on your religion or what country you're from. And so it's been really hard as Jews to see the discrimination going against these people. And I think he just felt that something needed to be said, and it needed to be said by him to hopefully influence people at Temple or in Memphis in general to really open our arms and not keep people out. It's hurtful to think about, especially as Jews, and thinking about just excluding people based on their religion.
Well, Ms. Kufert, Rabbi Woolner, thank you so much for coming on our show today and sharing with us everything the JCC and Temple Israel are doing in our community. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we'll be joined by Father John Simon from Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church.
There's a meaning no one knows, waiting to be set free.
So what's the empty suitcase for?
The grand prize trophy.
I was born to be somebody.
GHS-TV has a new website. You can now view any of our shows on our new media pages. Or check out the latest Wake Up Germantown or Red Devil postgame. As always, we're streaming live 24/7. Just visit GHS-TV.org today.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Ranimi Mam. Right now, we're joined by Father Simon Thomas from Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Christians around the world are gearing up for the Christmas holiday. However, the Greek Orthodox Church won't observe this holiday until the first week of January. Is this just a calendar difference, or is it something more?
It mostly is a calendar difference, and in many countries, like America, we actually do celebrate on the 25th. But yes, the December 6th holiday actually goes back to the early days of Christianity, when the Feast of Epiphany, when Jesus was baptized, is celebrated at the same time of his birth. So,
what sorts of activities and events does the Greek Orthodox Church offer to its church members?
we have lots of activities. Again, a lot of them based on seniors groups or youth groups, those activities. There's a women's group, there's also a men's group, and so all of those not only have fellowship and social activities, but they also have try to help the community at large as well.
Well, there are various groups, as you said, and one of those is the Philoptohos group. Can you tell us what they do?
First of all, very good pronunciation. Philoptohos, a good Greek word. It's mostly a ladies group, but men are welcome to join that as well. It's the largest women's group in America, actually, not just Orthodox, and they are basically a philanthropic group. Philop meaning love, and ptochos from the poor, those who love the poor. So they help those who are in need. Their intent is to help anybody who has a need in this world, not just in America, but throughout the world, and have given out millions of dollars every year in aid to those who are in need.
Well, we have a short clip of Philoptohos members in action, so let's take a look. You can tell by the video that philanthropy and volunteering are major parts of the church.
Yes, we are basically a volunteer organization. Other than myself and a secretary, everybody else that works at the church and everything that happens at the church is done by volunteers, people who take their time out of their schedule to work and provide for not only the parish, but for the community at large.
Just how large is the Greek community in Memphis?
Well, the Greek community itself is probably about 350 to 400 families, but our church is not limited to those of Greek descent. We have Romanians, Ethiopians, Russians, those from the Middle East as well as born and bred Southerners who are American. But it's a community that comes together and joins together in more of the Hellenistic spirit, the idea of Hellenism that goes back to Aristotle, Plato, and the early philosophers through the Byzantine era of history.
In reference to the many different Orthodox cultures, is there differences?
The church itself is one, but basically if you went to the Greek festival, or you come to our Greek festival, you'll get baklava. If you went to a Russian festival, you get borscht. That's the main difference is the cultural elements of things. Much like an Irish Catholic is still Catholic from Rome, but from the island of Ireland. Our differences are mainly cultural and from the country they come from, but the church itself is the same.
As you mentioned, the Greek festival is one that your church organizes, and it's one of the biggest in Memphis. So you're new to Memphis, relatively new, and you moved here in July. Did you get a chance to visit in May?
Unfortunately, I did visit in May, but it was just after the festival had taken place, so I saw the after effects of the festival. So I missed it this year, but I do look forward to it next year.
Well, what are you looking forward to this year?
This year, first of all, as you mentioned at the beginning, Christmas coming up is an important holiday for us. We've already done our Christmas caroling and visited those who were shut in. We are putting together our Christmas pageant for this coming Sunday, and also putting together our philanthropic activity, which has been to provide backpacks for those who are in need, to give them to folks who come to our parish something that they can take away that can help them for at least a temporary period of time.
Are there other community events that the Orthodox Church is a part of?
Again, being new, I'm not sure exactly all the activities at this point, but the things that we've done in the time I've been here, for Veterans Day, we provided cards for the veterans and sent them to the VA to be distributed. Well over 100 cards were produced by our children. And our Flow Up to Host group does the More Than a Meal program every month and provides more than 100 meals for those who are on the streets and in need of meals. Not only is it a wonderful time to obviously provide food for somebody, but to spend time with people who don't often get the one-on-one interactions that they need.
Well, since your arrival, what have you noticed about the many different religious communities around Memphis?
I've noticed that the strength of the unity between the two. Our pastor emeritus, Father Nicholas Viron, who's been here for 60 years, was very involved with that from the beginning and has continued to add his voice to that discussion. And so I'm hoping that as the new one here, I can continue that tradition that he has started. He was very involved with the interfaith council here and our parish, and that just shows the strength of the interfaith dialogue that has taken place in Memphis.
Have you gotten a chance to meet with some of the other religious leaders around the community?
Only a few of them, but yes, and they've been very welcoming and very supportive and open to discussion and dialogue and fellowship.
All of us at GHS-TV welcome you to our community, Father Simon.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today. It's time to take a break. When we get back, we'll be joined by Imam Anwar Arafat and Imam Muhammad from Rahman Mosque.
GHS-TV has a new website. You can now view any of our shows on our new media pages. Or check out the latest Wake Up Germantown or Red Devil postgame. As always, we're streaming live 24/7. Just visit ghstv.org today.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm your host, Raneem Imam. This week, we're exploring the social aspect of Mid-South religions. Joining me now are Imam Anwar Arafat and Imam Muhammad from the Rahman Mosque. Thank you both for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Well, similar to Hanukkah, Ramadan and Eid celebrations jump around the calendar year after year. How does the Muslim community celebrate during the holidays?
The community loves Ramadan, despite the fact that obviously people are fasting during the day. During the night, however, festivities take place, people gather for food usually, you get invited. People usually have to mark off their calendars, like each day where they're going to eat, just because the invitations increase so much. At the mosques, we have food available for anybody who wants to come, and a lot of times we have sponsors that come and sponsor the actual food that takes place, and you'll see a huge variety of different types of food. You'll have food that comes mainly from an Arabic, Middle Eastern background, then you have South Asian, Indian food, then you'll have some Malaysian food. A few nights we had even Chinese food, and we had even some Mexican food because there were some Latino Muslims in the community that provide it. So it's if you're a food lover, Ramadan is great.
Well, one of the pillars of Islam is centered around the idea of giving to those who are less fortunate. What volunteer work do you offer to your community members?
So we open up the door really to anybody who wants to volunteer for a lot of the efforts that we have, and we've had Muslims, non-Muslims both take charge of these efforts. Many have been clothes drives, food drives that we had. This last Thanksgiving, we had a clothes drive, winter clothes drive for the needy in the community. And we had such a huge response. We didn't anticipate that we had to extend the deadline even more. And actually, initially it was supposed to be meant for refugee families. We extended it to, I believe we took it to the homeless shelter, Goodwill, yeah, many other places. Just because we had so much, it was an awesome response. And this is just one example. I think Iman can even expand more on this.
Yeah, it was, we call it Feed the City, and usually what we do is every month we have meals, whether it be, you know, a sack lunch or a barbecue or something like that, and usually it goes to the homeless. So we'd set up at a park and we would go and feed the homeless. But for Thanksgiving, we did a Thanksgiving edition where we focused on refugee families who are in Memphis. We ended up reaching over 35 families, I believe. And yeah, thousands of clothes, but it wasn't just that. It was hygiene products, it was food, blankets, you know, we just focused on things that we knew that they were going to need. And like he said, there was a surplus of clothes and supplies and everything, and we ended up giving a lot to Goodwill as well.
Iman, you're very involved in the volunteer work that goes on in the mosque. So yes. What would you say has the mosque made an impact on the city of Memphis?
Well, from what I know, it's not just the community work, isn't like Feed the City and things like that. We also do things in sports. So we have the MSL and we have the Muslim Basketball League, and that's in the fall and the summer, and they have interactions and things like that. So it's not, I know sports tend to be a great outlet, so we have that as well. We have speakers come in and speak about social issues and religious issues and things like that. And our mosque door is always open to anybody to come in and see these things. And we've had fundraisers before and our auctions and things like that where all the funds were donated.
You're also really active with the Muslim youth.
Yes. So basically 901 Ummah is the group that I am a part of, and what we try to do is we try to create projects and inspire the youth and just harvest talent so it doesn't go to waste. And so basically their talents, they come up with projects, community projects, and we see how they want to carry it out. We help them carry it out, and they put it forth, and we've got great responses from the youth before.
What other programs do you offer to your community?
In what sense?
In the sense of Sunday schools, or maybe?
Yes, we do have Sunday schools. We also have tutoring in the mosque, and on a weekly basis we have classes that people can just come, and Arabic classes and such. Yes, and Imam Anwar would be more familiar with the classes and things like that in the mosque.
Yeah, maybe we have a lot of programs at the mosque actually. On a nightly basis there's something going on, which I think is really good. We have a women's group that gets together multiple times during the week. We have a group for young professionals. We have a group for the children. We have a Saturday school and a Sunday school. We had to split them up because we have so many children coming, which is, to me at least, this is a sign that the community is growing. A lot of people are interested, and we get a lot of even non-Muslims that try to come and attend the programs. We, on occasion, we have movie nights, where we bring dinners and we watch, you know, a movie, either a family movie or something that's relevant to a topic. We do watch, we have people that come even and watch basketball games, you know, the Grizzlies at the mosque. We've opened our doors to that as well. We have, you know what I mean, you name the type of program, we pretty much have it. We have support groups, marriage counseling, we have youth counseling that we do, yeah.
Well, we know that the Muslim and Christian communities in Memphis try to work together.
Yeah.
What kinds of events do you organize?
So we are part of the interfaith group here in Memphis, and actually many of the founders were Muslim, and we tried to extend out to all faiths. There tends to be a more focus on the Abrahamic faiths. just because of the common things that we share with the Jewish traditions and the Christian traditions. Just last October, we had a dinner in which we had a rabbi attend, and also a Christian pastor and myself, and we were talking about family values and Abrahamic traditions. Great response from the community. It was at the MIFA, which is downtown, the Memphis Interfaith Association, where they do a lot of charitable work that we also try to support. And so we had our interfaith dinner itself, and we tried to do it in Ramadan. Unfortunately, this year so people tried to fast with us, you know, a lot of the people from the Christian faiths and the Jewish faiths, to fast with us just to see what a day of fasting is like. And as Muslims, we do it to feel what a lot of these poor, less fortunate people go through when they have to face hunger and so forth. So we invited them to come and fast. It happened to be the longest day of the year, so it wasn't perhaps the ideal time to fast, but they enjoyed it. There was a lot of great food. And we brought some speakers, and we had a great response from the community.
Imam Anwar, earlier in the show, we talked with Temple Israel, and we mentioned their post against the anti-Syrian refugee movement. What does it mean to see people from the community, like the Jewish community, supporting Muslims?
That's tremendous support. That's, you know, great, and we would love to see this, you know, throughout all different faiths, not just this. And of course, the Muslim community has welcomed this. A lot of the, you know, surprisingly, a lot of the Syrian refugees aren't necessarily just Muslims. A lot of them are Christians. A lot of them are from different religions, and so the idea to discriminate, even not necessarily, you know, because of their religion, but because of anything really, their racial background or anything, is completely against what Islam stands for, and so it's very encouraging to see that we live in a day and age where there's a lot of support out there, and it's sad to see that there might be that rhetoric just to win some votes, but unfortunately that rhetoric is still there.
Well, it's great to see the Muslim community and Jewish community and all the religious communities in Memphis supporting one another in a time of need. Iman,
Yes.
Anwar, thank you both so much for coming on our show today.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here.
I hope we've shed light on some of the Mid-South's many religions and the work they are doing to make Memphis a better place. I would like to thank all of our guests for being on the show today. Remember, Crosstalk can be seen each week at 9:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Mondays, 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Thursdays, and 7:30 p.m. on Sundays. For more information on our programming, please check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we're streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Ranimi Mam. From all of us at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.